what is there for the Prime Minister's Cares Fund to hide? What is so covert about it? It is about funding emergency. You keep it open and fund it. So end of the day, if an ordinary person is supposed to show that, these funds are kosher, so is the government, so is Prime Minister. And when the Prime Minister says that I will not show, that is when the question arises. And then everything is under cloud. Everything is under cloud. Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. Now, I'm going to talk to you about PM Cares Fund. I'm sure all of you all have heard about PM Cares Fund. Now, are you aware what PM Cares actually stands for? What this word CARE? CARE is actually an acronym. And this CARES stands for PM Citizen Assistance and Relief in Emergency Situation Fund. That is exactly what PM CARE Funds stands for. Now, why are we talking about this today? We are talking about this today, and I have spoken about this before also, but I am repeating. I am talking about it today is because, you see, in February 2026, the PMO was asked by the Lok Sabha Secretariat some information on PM Cares, and the PMO told them that there is no question on PM Cares Relief and Defense Funds. No question. No questions. You can't ask questions to the PM. In fact, there are two overview rules on this. Rule 41(2)(8), which excludes a matter not primarily concerning the Government of India, and Rule 41(2), which excludes matter controlled by the bodies or person not primarily responsible to the Government of India. So they say, listen, under Rule 41(2)(8) and 41(2), you can't ask us questions. You can't ask us questions about this. Okay? That's where it stands. Now, like I said again, why are we discussing it today? Because today we saw a statement from the Prime Minister Cares Fund where the corpus of that fund is around 8,452 crores. 8,452 crores. And with that 8,452 crores, they have earned interest of around 470 crores. 8,452 crores total deposits, out of which they earned an interest of 470 crores. This is the math. 8,452 crores lying in the bank. And you know how much they have spent, by the way, from that 8,452 crores. They've spent 87 lakhs. That's the story. 87 lakhs spent. Rest is lying in the bank and it is drawing interest. It is making money. Okay. Now, when people ask, why only so much money spent? The government says, or whatever, PM Care says that, listen, why? This is only for emergency funds. Why should we remove it to everything? Why should we remove it for everything? So we will only remove when there is an emergency, Baba. When there was COVID, didn't we remove the money? We removed. Now why should we draw money and distribute it? Acha. You see, all this is fine. All this is fine. Wasn't Assam emergency? Isn't Kerala emergency? Both are facing floods. Why are monies not going there? Why are monies not going to Assam? There are people helping. Ordinary people, ordinary citizens are helping these states. Why is the government not helping? And so who decides that what is emergency and what is not? The PM? So he decides that is emergency, spend money. That is not emergency, don't spend money. Purely because it's named after him? So is that how it's going to work? Is that even right? You can't ask questions. You can't ask questions under section 42(2). You can't ask questions. How fair is this? How fair is this? Secondly, the Supreme Court had ruled that the Controller and Auditor General, that is CAG of India, does not audit the PM Care Fund. The Supreme Court of India had ruled that because of the fund is a public charitable trust run on voluntary donation rather than government budgetary support, and external CAG audit is not required. But why can't CAG audit them? Why can't CAG audit them? When you get money from any source, the income tax, the ED, everybody will come and audit you. Try getting money from a source and tell the income tax, nahi dega, nahi batayega hamara source. I don't want to show you source. You tell that to income tax and see what happens to you. Tell that to ED and see what happens to you. You are changing FCRA rules, all of that. Why? So that we want to know every penny that comes into your bank account. And to some extent, it is okay also. You see, unless and until you are spending for some covert operations and some covert national interest and all of that, okay, those funds need not be made public. But otherwise, what a prime minister spends or what a common man spends, of course, we should be transparent and showing our details as to where we are getting the money and how we are spending it. What is there to hide? I have nothing to hide, so you show it. Likewise, what is there for the Prime Minister's Cares Fund to hide? What is so covert about it? It is about funding emergency. You keep it open and fund it. What is the intention behind you not saying, this not being open to the CAG? Because you are not taking government's money. So is a common man taking government money? If you take money from a foreign source, you are under scrutiny. If you don't divulge it and you don't say why you got it, how you got it, is it what rule you got it under, you will be put behind bars. Is that okay? And how are we supposed to see? End of the day, I'm not saying therefore something is going wrong end of the day, but how are we supposed to know which foreign, because PM funds can be funded by both Indians and foreigners. How do you know which foreigners are funding it? How do you know what money is coming in? Again, I'm saying, I'm not therefore saying that monies are coming in from foreign countries or some anti-national elements are putting in money or some Soros is putting in money and all that. I am not saying. But imagine, how do we know? Because we don't know, It is not that nobody is above law, Nobody is beyond law. If it is good for the geese, it's good for the gander. So, end of the day, if an ordinary person is supposed to show that, these funds are kosher, so is the government, so is Prime Minister. And when the Prime Minister says, I will not show, that is when the question arises. And then everything is under cloud. Everything is under cloud. Why only 87 lakhs? I'll tell you, let me share some other figure. This is the contribution. This is the money that was received by PM Cares Fund and what they have today. 2019-20, PM Cares Fund got 3,076.85 crores from domestic funding and 0.39 from foreign funding. 2020-21, they got 7,183.77 crores from domestic funding and 494.93 crores from foreign funding. 2021-22, 1,896.76 crores domestically, 40.12 crores from foreign. 2022-23, 909.64 domestic, 2.57 foreign. 2023-24, 681.81 crores domestic, 1.13 crores foreign and 479.04 crores in 2024-25 and 92 lakhs foreign. And the total deposits, like I told you right now, the closing balance right now is 8,452.06 crores. Like I told you, 6,451 crores put into FD, out of which they got interest of 470 crores. This is the status. Now, one has to ask oneself and one has to be very clear about it. Objectively ask oneself. Not because you belong to a particular party or you don't belong to a particular party. Objectively ask yourself. When there is foreign funding, when there is funding, any funding, and it is under the name of the Prime Minister, shouldn't that fund be transparent to the people of this country? Finally, it is collected in the name of the people of this country. Regardless of where you get it from, it is collected in the name of the people of this country. So shouldn't the people of the country know where exactly is it spent and how is it collected? Secondly, when there are foreigners involved, when there is foreign funding involved, shouldn't it be more necessary for the country to know which foreigner is paying this money? Isn't it necessary for our national interest for us to know that who is paying this money? No matter what name you are collecting it under, isn't it necessary to know? Shouldn't the Prime Minister be the first person to say that rule starts with me? Shouldn't that the way it should be? And finally, who decides what is emergency? Does one person in this country decides that this is emergency, this is not, this state emergency, this state not, this state has to be funded, this state not? Is that how it's going to be? Because currently it's looking that way. These are my questions and that's the point I wanted to raise today. Till I see you next time. That's tomorrow at 10. Namaskar.